Greetings and salutations, adventurers, and welcome to Painting with the Dungeon Master. As you can see, I attempted to record my painting in a different style by screen recording through a separate monitor. Little did I realize it would capture everything on the DSLR screen. So do me a favor and just ignore it. I am just an amateur after all. In this episode, I will be painting Dire Rats from the Reaper Miniatures line. There are 8 miniatures that come in a box with 4 different poses, which I enjoy. It brings more life into these plastic pieces. Starting with a base coat of Ulthuan Grey from Citadel Paints, I begin painting to thoroughly cover the entire model, so all of the other colors that I slap on really pop. Oops! Pardon the butterfingers, these guys are actually really, really small. So, what is a dire rat? Well, the term dire comes from our terminology of megafauna eons ago, back when creatures roaming around were huge compared to nowadays sizing. Remember not too long ago about the dire wolf that was de-extincted? Very similar to the wolf of today's age, except it is massive in comparison. Next, I painted on top of the Ulthuan Grey a layer of Gorthor Brown from Citadel Paints, to start that brown, dirty fur look that I wanted to give him. I try to get into each of the recesses and hard to reach places, covering all of the base coat with thin layers until the off-white is no longer visible. Where do dire rats come from? That's a great question. As a dungeon master, you can decide that. In a world of both magic and history that has never truly died, they could have always existed, coming from the jungle peninsula of Chult, where dinosaurs still roam. They could be a science experiment gone wrong at the local Mages Academy, potentially being imported by a rare and illegal pet breeder, or maybe they were caused by an alchemist who improperly disposed of failed potions into the sewer. You can decide, if your players ever ask. Anywhere normal rats can be found is where dire rats would also live. They can be found taking shelter and stealing food in any human settlement, whether that be on a farm, in a town, in basements, food storage sheds, or in larger cities in warehouses or sewer systems. Rats are dangerous creatures, as they are not just scavengers, but they will eat anything they can sink their incisors into. They will fiercely defend their nests and their territory. Fortunately, rats are tiny. Unfortunately, dire rats are not. They will gaze upon a halfling with the same voracious appetite as they would a sack of grain. They are always starving, and you are now on the menu. I then added Baneblade Brown from Citadel Paints using a layer brush of about 0 size, and thinned down to about 2-to-1 ratio of paint to water to the underside, to give it a lighter brown look in order to break up the monotony of the fur color, because fur is never just one color. I then attempted a wet blend to try and bring those two colors together. Let me know how that looks to you in the comment section. We all can be better at wet blending, no matter if you're just starting or if you have won a Golden Demon Award. Mechanically, in 3.5, they also carry the Filth Fever disease. With each successful attack, you must make a Fortitude saving throw, or be infected with the Filth Fever disease, which, if left untreated, will steal away your Constitution and Dexterity, meaning you'll be easier to hit, have less hit points, and be more susceptible to other diseases and poisons. In 5th edition, they carry no such disease, but if they are fighting in a group against one adventurer, they gain advantage in their attacks, which can be just as deadly. Next up, I applied a thinned down wash of Seraphim Sepia from Citadel, about a 1-to-1 ratio of sepia to water, and utilizing a base coat brush all over the model to unify the fur coats for a better effect to make it one animal. I finished the fur coat with a wash of Agrax Earthshade, straight from the pot, utilizing a layer brush about 0 size to give it a much darker, rich brown along the rat's spine. I thought it was a cool look on the reference photo I was looking at and wanted to replicate that. Art imitating life, or something like that. Next, I painted the tail, feet, ears, and nose in Kadian flesh tone from Citadel Paints, utilizing a zero brush for a quick coverage application. In an effort to try to not paint over your hard work on the fur, have a wetted brush on standby. This way, if you do make a mistake, you can use that wet brush to aggressively paint and wipe away the accident, and then blot up the excess water with a paper towel. I finished up the model with Abaddon Black using a 00 detail brush for that cold, unfeeling eyes of a vicious would-be man-eater. And that wraps up this episode. Remember, adventurer, whenever delving into the darkest depths, never forget to bring the provisions to help your survival, such as food, water, ladders, and probably most importantly, a torch to keep the scavengers and natural predators away.